What's up, everybody? In this video, we're going to be talking about mistakes you're making that are keeping you poor and unsuccessful. Here with the Core 4. Welcome to Core 4 Rants. I think that's what we could call it, huh?
I like that name.
I
And we
enjoy
about
that
to
name as
rant.
well.
I do love a good man.
We apologize for the slight delay. We had some technical difficulties, but you guys know how that goes. So I'm going to holler at everybody in the chat. I also want to make you guys aware of a couple different things. So first and foremost, we got Chris here. Chris is Striping God. Welcome. Juan
What up,
Wizard.
Chris?
Always good to have some Juan Wizard action. And then we got a couple other people coming and hang out. Nolan's in here. Highland Services. Okay, sweet. So before we jump into the action, I want to make you guys aware of a couple things. First and foremost, Southeast Soft Wash is teaming up with Quote IQ to give away an Easy Max soft wash system. So we're going to take a look at that right now. It'll be the first link in the comment section and description if you guys want to win. 35 days away. Also some Kims. Cody, you want to tell us a little bit about the Easy Max, man?
Yeah, dude, it's a really nice bolt-on system. So pretty much everything you're going to need to get into soft washing, except for throwing a good deep cycle battery in the box. Now, don't use no lawnmower battery. Okay, need you a good battery. Throw that in the box. You can get that local, and some tanks and a little bit of pieces of hose, some plumbing. You'll be up and running in I'd say it's about a half a beer install, and out there making some money. So it's a full blendable system. What you can't see on the other side of the box where the cursor's at there on that far right is a full blend system. So this is blending. This is not a little batch setup. It's got all the metering valves, batch busters loaded out on the side, bolted up nice, ready to go. So really clean. We're glad to do it with Quote IQ. Going to give somebody, we give away a couple things a year, a couple of big things. So this will be kind of the first something going out the door for early in the year.
Excellent. So if you guys want to enter, hit the first link in the comment section description. You will need to be a Quote IQ subscriber. Any subscription counts, but all you got to do to enter is enter your email, be a subscriber, active subscriber of Quote IQ, and you'll be entered to win the Easy Max. So be sure to check it out. First link in the comment section description. Also want to make you guys aware that Local Dom 2 is out. Basically, we've been landing huge jobs for a long time. We finally put together the playbook for how to land monster commercial jobs. As you guys can see here, 34,000, 100K, 58K, 40K. Like, you guys back me up here. Like, this is stuff that we've been doing for a while. We just put it into a course form now.
Right. Yeah. And, not only is it the kind of the framework for commercial and big ticket, say, like jobs, but it's stuff that's applicable to your business regardless of whether you're wanting to do house washes or route work or anything like that. Because, at the end of the day, sales is sales. But what we have kind of constructed here is what's going to allow you to find the right people, get in front of the right people so you can get your business in front of those people that are making the decisions, and then how you approach them, how you get, I'm not going to give away too much, but yes, this is something that we have never shared before. So I think it's of tremendous value.
Exactly. So we released Local Dom 1. This is the predecessor to Local Dom 1. We had a lot of guys get started with that, make a ton of money with it. Tyler Starkey being one of those, Glenn Jernigan, a bunch of names you guys see right here within our six-figure earners. This is like the step up to that. This is kind of like Local Dom 1 on steroids from the perspective of landing monster commercial jobs. So Aaron, you want to say anything about it, man?
Yeah, man. Local Dom 1 kicked it all off. Got thousands of guys around the globe started in the pressure washing business. It was a culmination of all of the knowledge that we could put together as far as being effective to go from, at that point, 0 to 7K. And this is now the six-figure blueprint. But Mike, I honestly will tell you, dude, some of these jobs, we say six figures in the logo and in the copy, but some of these jobs will put guys way over six figures.
Oh, yeah.
Some of your techniques and landing these jobs. So we just wanted to pack it full. Local Dom 2, it is Local Dom 1 on steroids. Truly, it's a complete revamp of that brand, but the success that follows Local Dom 1, I mean, truly thousands of guys that some of them even have channels got started with the local domination framework. And so it is proven. Go ahead and grab it, man. I think it's a great investment. It's cheap for what's in there for sure.
Excellent. So second link in the comment section and the description, that'll be a link to Local Dom 2. And that's going to kind of kick us into what we're going to be talking about today. Local Dom 2 is a bit more expensive than the other courses that we've released. But when you put it within the context of the jobs that you can land and the jobs that we've been able to land, it makes a lot more sense. So Cody, I'm going to shift it over to you, man. Kind of lead us off on this discussion.
Well, I'm trying to get away from talking about this so much because I feel like it's been my shtick for a long time. But it's you've got to sort of purge some of this out of your soul and get ready to spend a little bit of money. And it's just super frustrating to me because we're really not in the pressure washing business as far as what my company does. We're in the getting guys to start their own business and getting them up and going. So they've decided to get in the game and start a business. And the single biggest linchpin that I see, I've watched thousands of dudes come through and get equipment. Some of them, a lot of them just take training, build their own equipment. So the thing that usually tells me if they're going to make it or break it is how much they're willing to invest and how much they're kind of willing to burn at the altar of figuring it out. And I personally, I know it works. That's why I talk about this so much, is because I've done it. And it's really the only way to machete through the kudzu forest of the unknown is just with a machete of cash. And I hate to see guys not do it because it's not that much cash, like comparatively to other businesses. We live in a little dinky town, and I couldn't tell you how many restaurants that started up and, fell off. And those dudes were in it for tens and tens and tens of thousands and hours and hours. You go by there at night and they're in there remodeling, and they'll stay open for 8 months and they'll close the doors and nobody will think anything of that. But if you tell a guy to buy a course that's as much as a house wash, it's like, well, I don't know. That's too expensive. It's like, no, dude, it's not expensive. I have burned at least $15,000 just on purchasing motors to experiment with for the super pump, the lineup of pumps that we're going to use, just different motors. And you know what I can do? I'm going to settle on a motor, right? So you know what I get to do with all the other ones? Aaron, what do we do with the other ones?
They get thrown in a ditch.
I don't do anything else with them. I don't sell them. I don't take them to the flea market. So this is a barrier that just exists. Your family's not really putting this in front of you. It's in your own mind. So we're always looking for good spend. We don't want to waste our money, but not everything is a waste of money. It's the same people that would tell you don't buy that. Well, they would also encourage you to go spend 3 years at community college and spend, $30,000 getting a degree. So everything is a spend, and we do not want to see you guys come up against the first little hurdle and then immediately backpedal because you ran into a few $100s of woods of kudzu here. Okay. We're just going to cut through it, move on, because what's on the other side of that, it could be a bust, right? We're going to drill an exploratory shaft in this mine and see what's over there. And we're going to spend a little bit of money to drill this shaft. And what's on the other side could be a bust. We may have to go to another place, or it could be you could hit the mother lode. And so that's what we're telling you guys is it's not that much money. Like, it's not. So you just sort of have to get out of that mindset where if you start thinking that way, everything will always be too expensive. The uniforms are too expensive. The yard signs are too expensive. The Facebook ads are too expensive. The website's too expensive. Well, hell, what ain't too expensive? Bleach is too expensive. It's like, but then you're taking that mindset, you've programmed yourself that way, and then you go to your customers and want them to not think you're too expensive. And you wonder why you can't close like at even medium ticket, right? Much less trying to get to high ticket. So you've sort of got to start what you're projecting out into the universe is what you're going to get back. I don't want to be what everybody wants to do is only be a good seller and not a good buyer. They want all three legs of the stool to be in their favor at all the time. That's human nature, but it's not going to work that way. You've got to, if you want to be good at sales, you got to be good at buying, because there are throughout every day, just about it. When you go and buy, you are the guy that you're frustrated at when you're trying to, hey man, I want to get you on the schedule, well, can you do me anything? And you're like, dude, you're nickel and diming me. I'm a small business. I got overhead. You're thinking that, and you're not understanding there's a gap between you and your customers. Well, are you projecting the same gap back out into the universe when the coin is flipped? We don't want to see you guys do that. I can just tell you that single change in my mindset has made me billions of dollars. It's opened my eyes. And I know people within walking distance of where I'm sitting right here that have seen the success. And if you gave them the ball, they wouldn't throw the play. Dude, you got to get the ball down the field. So that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. I want to bring in this comment, and then we're going to bring in a Chirpy here in a second. We spend time to make money just to buy time. Money buys time. I like that. I think that's a really good analogy for what we're looking at here. Essentially, why would you need a $30,000 rig? Well, maybe because it makes the job way faster. You know what I mean? Like when I first started, I was pulling the pressure washer around the house, and that was the worst way to go about it. The first time I actually saw a professional company, I was like, dude, y'all can clean a house in 45 minutes. Like that's absolutely incredible. So spend money to buy time. This is pretty much the person that we're talking about right here, Chirpy. The 4 scam men. Good to see you. If you view us as a scam, all we are is a reflection back to yourself. So you are the real scam, my friend. But you guys want to weigh in on Chirpy?
Well, he says down here I'm not legally a scam, but a ripoff would be. But what's a ripoff? Like, what are you even talking about? Is an iPhone a ripoff? Is your truck a ripoff? What you're telling yourself is that, especially with like, okay, I get it. Listen, I get it. It's easy to crap on courses. It's easy to crap on that because everybody can make a course. It's not that hard. You have to video and put a course out. And so the local DOM, the kind of the original course, the problem with that is saying that our courses are a scam is there's too damn many receipts. There's too many people that have made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. So if you go to college and get a degree, it's the same thing, and you can't land a job, nobody says that a degree is a scam because you've been programmed by the societal mechanism to say this good, this bad. Well, it's the same thing. And matter of fact, it's actually way the other way because you go to college for years. You got 6 figures invested in college. That's a big gamble. But then you can't go get a job. Nope. Everybody says, well, they'll reply it to something else. They'll put it off on something else. Nothing is a scam. There are they're pyramid schemes, Ponzi schemes. But how can you say that like equipment's a scam? You can literally see it. It's like are these Ray-Bans a scam? Like they're pricey. Are they overpriced to you? What you're telling, the story, the narrative that you're telling yourself is that I don't think these are like $200. I've got like 3 pairs of them because I'm bad about leaving them in different vehicles. Is that a scam? Because you can get $20 sunglasses at Walmart. So these are a scam then by that same logic. No, what you're doing is you're programming yourself back to the negative, back to poverty, back to lack. It is anti everything that God wants for his children is to be prosperous and profitable and to have nice things. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. Okay. Here's what you should say. Damn, that's nice. I can't afford it right now. Don't say I can't afford it. Be really careful with your words. Say, damn, that's nice. That trailer's nice. Those sunglasses are nice. Quote IQ is nice. I can't afford it right now, which is bullshit because it's $1. But you get my point, right? What you got to say is, if you want to be honest with yourself, is say, damn, that's nice. I can't afford it right now. But it's easier. That involves accountability on yourself to know where you're at and where you want to be. It's easier to say, no, it's a scam and I don't want it in the first place. And you're lying to yourself and you're lying to everybody else can see you look like a Riri. It don't make any sense. The Legos don't click together. It's scam. It's scam. I tell you what, damn Wagyu, that's a damn scam. Like, well, you can say that because I'm going to eat this steak right here tonight.
And what's funny is I think that, what was his name? Chirpy? Chirpy probably honestly didn't come to this decision on his own, because anybody with even a semblance of intelligence can look at all of the things that the 4 scam guys right here do. Okay. We provide education. And like Cody said, what's wrong?
Oh no, keep going. No, I love it.
The education. There are far too many people that have taken how to wash, had taken local DOM, taken all of the training, implemented the training. That's the key, is implementation, and had great success, right? We've got far too many reviews, video reviews, testimonials, 6-figure earners, right? With plaques and like it's not debatable. Okay. If you are engaged and you implement, right, then it works. If you don't, then yeah, it would be really easy to write it off as a scam, because it's easier to point your fingers elsewhere than look at yourself and say, you know what, I didn't do what I was told to do. I didn't take the information and implement it. Okay, so education, not a scam. Secondly, look at Cody, Southeast Soft Wash. They've got chemicals. They've got equipment. They are inventing new products all of the time. They are taking things that have never been actually created for our industry and are creating them. There is no such thing as a soft wash specific pump for the pressure washing and house washing industry, right? We use other industry stuff and we make it work for us. That is completely different than what anybody else is doing. And there are a lot of great manufacturers out there. I cannot knock them. But who's doing the innovating? Is that a scam? It's absolutely not a scam. Then you take something like a CRM, Quote IQ. Okay, how is Quote IQ a scam? It is on the Apple Store. It is on the Google Play Store. You can get it at myquoteiq.com. And we've got 40,000 active users using it on a daily basis that are sending estimates, invoices, collecting payments, using the mix calculator, using InstaQuote. These are all things that are impossible to call a scam. Because why? Because it is a legitimate thing. You can go and you can download it. You can put it on the phone. Is it too expensive for you? Are you too poor to buy something that's only $29 or $44? Or you know what, Chirpy, there's a free version. How is that a scam? We're giving it to you for free because we want you to use it. So it just bothers me. But to go all the way back is because of the unintelligence of so many people, and because everybody is a sheep. Right? Most people, I won't say everybody. There are so many sheep out there that just follow, right? They just follow along. Chirpy, he was on a Facebook group, and Chirpy saw that somebody said that Quote IQ is a scam, and that Mike, he's an asshole, and he says bad words. Guess what, Chirpy? I am an asshole, but guess what? I'm providing a phenomenal service in multiple arenas. And is it a scam? Absolutely not. Is there jealousy? Are there people that are led by other people that just, they haven't been able to figure it out, right? These old fat bastards that have YouTube channels, that have Facebook groups, that just have never been able to figure it out. And you know what's the easy way to get to kind of justify to yourself your own worthlessness? Is pointing fingers at other people and saying, well, those guys are just scammers. Well, we're not scammers. We just figured it out and you never could. And that makes you angry. So that was my little rant. You said it was going to be a Core 4 rant. I did my part. On to the next.
I think scammer is right there with conspiracy theorists, right? It's like a free thinker. If you're a free thinker, you're a conspiracy theorist. Aaron, you want to run on it?
I think tying into what Mike is saying is you have a lot of these guys who have these little cesspool Facebook groups, right? And every time, the Core 4 comes out with a new innovation, aside from the courses, right? Courses are amazing. We've put all our knowledge in them. I mean, how many years, Mike, Cody, how many years do we have combined in the Core 4 as far as being in the game?
Oh, shit. I mean, I've got 20. Cody's probably got 15 to 18.
Yeah.
What, you're 10, 11?
No, I ain't 10, 11, probably like 7, something like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Don't give me too much credit for
No. Well, it just seems like it.
It's
We got about 50 years.
About 50 years in the game, and so the knowledge is there for the washing and the building of the business. Mike's done 7 figures in his wash business. Cody's done multiple 6. I've done multiple 6, right? It's like that knowledge is already there. But once we, I think, started innovating in a different way, I feel like it like stirred up a yellow jacket nest of hate, if you will, which I love. I'm of the Donald Trump formula. I love all of the attacks and the hate because that's free publicity. But the best part about it is that the innovations are actually great. Like they're actually well thought out. There's like hundreds of rigs out there with just batch buster valves now. And that's from just Southeast, right? Building with the batch buster valve system, the highest flowing metering valve system in the world, right? Not to mention the guys who bought manifolds and put it on their own rig that they built, right? So once we started coming out with that, I always like to say that dogs don't bark at parked cars, right? Anytime you start going somewhere in your business, your new pressure washing business, you're going to have your old friends. My favorite one is, how's that little business you have going? How's that doing? The little business, how's your little business doing? And once they start seeing you drive in different cars, guys, once they start seeing you moving your family to different zip codes, that starts to become like, man, that's cool, man. Well, how do I do that? They'll start wanting to start their own pressure washing business. The same guy who was trolling you is now trying to make courses. Now trying to innovate. As soon as change the website, we got new people trying to do website stuff. As soon as we start innovating, you got new guy, which they can't because they're not smart enough to innovate. But you see what I'm saying? It stirs up this bit of trolling and hate, but it's also like they start trying to do it. It's a weird dichotomy. It's a paradox. And so all I say is just, you cannot waller in that world. When I was in the country music world, Sam Hunt was just coming out, and he was kind of a poppier version of even what bro country was. Florida Georgia Line was the bro country era. Well, Sam Hunt had a different lane. Everybody wanted to troll Sam Hunt, and the trolling happened because he was pop. He was kind of poppy, that R&B thing. But then you know what happened after like 2 or 3 years of him being trolled and then him having a few #1 hits? You know what happened, guys? You started seeing country music singers wear Air Force Ones shoes on stage. You started seeing country music singers starting to sound like Sam Hunt. What happened is opportunities go through 3 phases. Okay. First, they are violently opposed. No, first they're ridiculed. Everybody ridicules the opportunity or the innovation, whatever it may be. Second, they're violently opposed, meaning they up the heat. They start, making up stuff. They violently oppose it. Third, this is the key. The third phase of opportunity is it becomes self-evident, and everybody goes away, and batch busters sell out as they have, right? Like you run a sale, I'll be damned. They just all disappear, right? So third portion of the phase of opportunity is it becomes self-evident. What I'm trying to tell you is that you've got to push through your family's nonsense. You've got to actually push through your own narrative, because most guys I talk to, there's 2 types of guys in pressure washing. And you have the real positive guys like a Marco Hilby, Todd Ketchow, Ben Wilson. I can go down the list here, and they inevitably, I can spot them in the crowd and they become successful. Okay. It's like, I already know they're going to win. There's this other type of guy who comes in, who's what we're talking about. He thinks everything's a scam. He can't believe quote IQ costs so much when it's actually cheap. He can't believe courses are a thing and he has to pay for knowledge like that's new. He can't believe that batch busters are that innovative and that he would have to buy a metering system or a super pump or anything like that. And so it's all a scam. And I know this guy is going to go one of 2 ways. He's either going to dig the ditch himself with the shovel, metaphorically. He's just going to do word of mouth for the next 25 years and not figure it out, or he will be out of business in 8 months and he'll chalk it up to, it's a damn shame. Biden, the economy, gas prices, everything now is someone else's fault. And that is truly, guys, what we're doing on these rants is we're distilling a serious problem, not just in our world, but in America. It is complete, just the entitlement of what people think you're supposed to give them beyond the transaction. Right. Like they think, no. Now that you've sold me this or you've done this, now you got to teach me how to back the truck up. No, that ain't part of buying a Ford truck or a Chevy truck or a Dodge. See, if you don't know how to back the truck up to the trailer, what's Dodge going to let you do? They're going to let you ram into that trailer about 8 times cockeyed until you're tired of denting up the rear end of that truck. Eventually you'll figure it out. And that's the point of business, is figuring it out over time, staying in the game, figuring it out, getting rid of all that negative thinking, investing in yourself, investing in your marketing, investing in the stuff you can't touch. That's where the magic is.
Dang. Beautiful. Okay, so rule number one, if people that are more successful than you, if you look at those people as scam artists, as if they've cheated people, whatever the case may be, you are doomed for poverty and being unsuccessful within your business. Number two is going to be dabbling. We get so many people that come to us, whether it be in the comment section, emails, whatever the case may be. Oh, I'm in the research phase. Oh, I'm just looking into it. Oh, I'm just an inability to commit, only dabbling, only looking into it, only talking about it, only like researching and looking at how much the price of the course is so I can just complain about it later. So let's get into dabbling, boys, and why that keeps you unsuccessful and poor.
I'll
Well,
tell
I
you
think-
somebody who's the best. Sorry, Mike. Y'all let you roll. I'll tell you one of the best people I know who does not dabble is Cody. Cody would do shit, bull. Cody pulled damn ripcord. Like Cody, and this is a superpower, guys. I'm gonna tell you a superpower of just watching Cody in the equipment world is that Cody has a way of doing things that he will get it to market. It's gonna get out that door. There is no researching. I told him this is a superpower he has because a lot of people have this what we call research is resistance, this analysis paralysis, the research phase, Justin, that you're talking about. Like you have to get that completely out of you. Mike, this is what I'm trying to say. How do you get it across the line, right? How do you make the decision that no, today I'm making a decision and moving another step forward in my business in the right direction? What do you do to make that happen?
Well, I am of the same mindset, I believe, as Cody and both of you guys, right? When we come up with ideas, when we come up with, whatever it is, we take action, and taking action is the key. I don't make excuses for why I'm not going to do something. If I and my wife gets on me all the time about it because she's like, I shoot straight from the hip, right? I'm not taking it out and aiming. I'm just going to blast away. And is it to my detriment? On some occasions it is, but if you don't take action, no action will ever be taken. Therefore, nothing will ever happen. So why not? Now, I know lots of people we talk about, well, I'm looking into LLCs and insurance. And next week I'm going to get a price on a truck. And then take action, right? Is it something that you want to do? Is it something that you're committed to? If those two answers are yes, then just do it, right? Nike said it best. Just do it. Don't make excuses, because you will never succeed in anything if you continue to make excuses. And so that's why I have always just been a person of action. If I decide I'm going to do something, then I take action and I do it. And I will, reap the rewards, or I will face the consequences of, a poor decision. And yes, there is research that goes into things. Yes, you have to, if you're starting a business, you need to do market research. You need to understand a lot of things, but don't allow that to overwhelm you and bog you down so you never get to the point where you're actually starting the business. All you're ever going to do is just talk about starting the business, and that is just freaking wrong. But to answer your question is, I obviously I think about what's going to happen if I make this decision, and if it's not absolutely catastrophic, then I'm just going to pull the trigger and make it happen. It's like quote IQ. We were talking about it, right? Justin and I, this is years ago, and he was like, well, we always get questions from people about what CRM to use, what software are you using for your business, if you go back 2 years and you look at any live stream that I did, or any kind of, people would say, what CRM? And I was like, I don't know, because I use bits and pieces from all over the place. I was using QuickBooks. I was using some quoting software. I was using a different scheduler. I was using all kinds of email automation and mass text, all kinds of things spread out, but I made it work. It was not conducive to running a business effectively. And one of the main reasons why I was so quick to, and I'll get to it with the quote IQ thing. So 2019, I had a health scare. I was in a coma for like a month, and I laugh about it because I shouldn't be here. But when I was in a coma, I still had a business to run. I didn't have a business to run. A business was still here, not in a coma, that needed to be run. And my wife, badass, right? Smart as hell, she came in and she's looking at all the shit everywhere, right? Like QuickBooks and this and all of these different things. And it was like, how in the world is she going to be able to piece all of this together, right? And they figured it out. But when I woke up and was finally able to get back and like kind of see, it was papers everywhere. Like they had just basically abandoned everything that I did and was doing and started over from scratch. And so when we start talking about like, you know, what software do you use? We're like, well, shit, there is nothing. And there are products out there that, you know, it's just like the pumps, right, Cody? The super pump designed specifically for the industry, the home service or for you pressure washing. Quote IQ is specific. It's not, you know, hey, we're a bunch of software guys and we're going to make some stuff and hope to sell it to a bunch of different people. So when we decided, hey, we're gonna develop our own software, something that we'd never done before. We did a little research, like we had an idea of what we wanted, and then we pulled the trigger. We hired a development team. We've spent, I don't even want to say, you know, $500,000 just on development over the past year and a half. And guess what? It was worth every penny because we took action and we moved forward. A lot of people would still be in the planning phases of that. Well, I need to check out to see what the competition is and what their price points are and what the features are that they're offering. I know what I want, and I'm going to do it every single time.
Not to mention the first time we did it, we failed. And
Yes.
so the first people that we hired did a terrible job. We wasted like, I think 4 or 5 months. Cody, you have a similar story. You guys hired somebody in for a year for the pump, right? It didn't work.
No, it was for the valve where we haven't had, you know, you get to that point, you get better at it. The more of these adventures you go on, you get better at sort of navigating the Atlantic. But the first time you don't know what the hell you're doing. And we had a guy, CAD guy designing the valve, and, you know, we're 10 months in, we're 100K. And me and Aaron were just like, I hate this thing. So we just drug him out back, shot him behind the ear, and started all the way over, you know, so lost time and lost 100K. Like there was like a Lotus Emira that just never existed. So I got some points on this. I think Mike's dead on, as we all kind of see. The Bible tells you what you need to know. James 1:22, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. And that's what a lot of people are with everything. The information consumption is only part of it. Yes, you have to have the information, but if you're just a hearer of the word, and you're not a doer, and it doesn't matter. You just absorbed and you're not taking it out and applying it. It's not going to come. Nothing shall come to pass. And so I wrote this down. Knowing the game equals fast plays. One of the reasons that I can have that ability to go quick, and Mike as well with Quote IQ, is because we know the game. We know this industry so well. My dad invented roof cleaning. Like I've been doing this since I was born, like it literally 8, 9 years old. So because I know so well, like I know more than multi-billion-dollar companies will ever know about soft washing in the market. Like they'll bring something in the market and I'm like, well, that's a piece of crap. And then they'll slowly back it. I'm talking about like big publicly traded stuff. So that is a benefit. Now I just sort of blessed that I got to be that finger close to the pulse of an industry, but I get to leverage that with quick plays, right? You take somebody that's been playing football for 25 years professionally, how quick can they see the landscape and make a decision versus a new guy? All right. So with that, you need to know thyself. You need to really know. Some people are, I think me and Mike are pretty similar with seat of the pants kind of guy, right? Especially in the things I'm confident in. So I know that about myself. That means I need to crank the knob up a little bit on the, okay, slow down, make sure, because you do have to send out a good product at the end of the day. It's got to be right. Like it's got to be right. So I know that I am prone to going quick, and I'm usually right because I do know the market. So I got to season that correctly. Most people, what we see are the other way. And that's why we only really talk about the other side of the coin, because they're too slow and they don't really have the other problem. 99% of people have the too slow problem. They're in over analysis paralysis mode. And so there are some things you want to analyze. All right. But it's not that much stuff. We've had guys come to get equipment. They're like, well, what kind of seals are in them valves? And I got to set me up a business plan and I'm doing my market research. Bro, it's literally pressure washing. Like you just have to go get some customers, clean their shit and get paid. That's the formula here. But typically like a white collar guy, he thinks there's got to be more here than this. And that's what will actually screw him up, is the thinking that there's more to it. And it's pretty straightforward. And then the last thing I wrote down is, because you're talking about launching an entrepreneurial journey. Okay. And this is where most guys are coming. It's not just, it's a business. So we're talking to business owners, and 99% of them are startups. Very rarely do we get to talk to a guy that's been in business, and that guy's much easier. He's already figured all this out. So for the new business guy that selected washing as his thing, guess what? You don't have a boss anymore, which means you don't have a deadline, which means this thing will just go on and on and on and on until at work, what keeps you from going on and on and on? What keeps you to having metrics right? It's usually your boss's boot in your ass. Well, now there is no boss. And so the problem is it's just the eternal timeline. And so you got to know that, be aware of that, and say, okay, well, that means I've got to set some goals and some deadlines on myself, that I'm going to have this done by this day. I'm going to have this done by this day. I'm going to have that done, and then I'm going to do this. So we're not saying that there are not things to do. What we're just telling you is that we've watched this movie a lot of times, and where most guys fall off and don't ever really make it, they never are really successful, or they fold up shop, or they're selling their equipment in a year or whatever it is. Most of the time, that plot line is because they never really burn the ships. Like, they don't ever launch. It's just always about, I was watching we build equipment. We're the biggest in that game. And there's a guy that builds these little, they're like on a hand trucks, and I like him. He's a good dude. He buys some batch busters from us. They're I'm talking about cheap as hell little rig, which is fine, because some guys are like on a shoestring budget. It's literally, Aaron, tell them, am I lying? It's a pair of hand trucks with valves bolted to one side. And okay, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying it's literally the cheapest thing you could get. It's cheaper than an Easy Max. Like, it's the thing. And go to his comment section. I'm thinking about getting one come about March or April. It's like, so it doesn't matter what the thing is. Somebody's going to have that same excuse. Don't be that somebody, because that's going to screw you up worse than getting out there, probably burning a bush up. That's what everybody's worried about, is like, oh, what if you self to death, dude? Like, it's prom night. Get to the freaking Enchantment Under the Sea dance, knock Biff across the jaw, and go home with the old lady. That's the plan, dude. You're not going to get there, McFly, sitting there thinking about it till Jesus comes.
Our biggest superpower is our ability to implement quickly. Like, I think I sent in a video yesterday. It was it was a coffee shop that's doing like a bet, right? So like, the coffee shop is, you go and you buy a coffee, right? And then they flip a coin when you get to the cash register. If the coin hits heads, then you get a free coffee. If the coin hits tails, you have to pay double for the coffee, and the baristas get to split the money.
Okay, but before you finish.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to find it. Okay. You sent that video at 5:11 p.m.
Correct.
Okay.
So I send the video in. We're like, that's a great idea. Aaron's like, Mike should try that with his customers. Mike, when did you send an email out with the game?
5:24 p.m.
So how much time was in between those two things?
Like 11 minutes.
This is our superpower. We will find videos. We will find articles.
Doo-doos that last longer than 11 minutes.
Whatever we find, though, we'll implement. We run to implement. Right. And then that's why we get so much stuff done. Does it all work? No. I mean, Mike, have you seen a tremendous amount of success with that?
Well, we just sent it out yesterday. There was probably 6 people that got estimates on InstaQuote on my website. And I one of them booked. They didn't say anything about the double or nothing, but like, for me, that's just fun, right? Like, I after you sent that, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to run in and I'm going to do it. And so then I go outside, and my wife's sitting outside by the pool, and she's reading. And I was like, hey, did you get the email from me? Cause she's on the email list. And she's like, I don't think so. And she looks it up and she goes, what is this? And I was like, what do you think? And she's like, double or nothing. You're going to flip a coin and do. And I was like, yeah, I said, mostly it's just because it's fun. And why not? Right. Like, if somebody wants to take that chance and they're willing to risk, and honestly, our customers, right? Our customers are people that, if it's a $400 house wash, right? Is $400 a lot of money to them when they're living in a $2 million home and they've got, a G-Wagon and a whatever else in the driveway and they've got great jobs and whatever. $400 is nothing. But they're like, you know what? This is actually kind of cool. Let's flip a coin. And paying $800 versus zero, I mean, the house wash is worth $800 to them anyway, because they don't have to do it. So it was just something fun. But her reaction to it was like, what is this? And I was like, I don't know, maybe some people will talk about it. So just something fun.
Oh, I added it in, but look how small it is. It's teeny tiny. We'll have to make another video on it. But the biggest thing is implementation. How quickly can you learn something and implement it? Chris tells me all the time, like, he was like, dude, if people would just take notes on your videos and just implement what you say in the video, like, they'd be tremendously successful. But what do people do? They listen to it. Oh, that's great. Or they're entertained by the visuals and they don't ever act on anything. And that is the biggest thing holding them back. I got 2 more points that I want to hustle through. I do want to tell you guys real quick, though, that we're giving away an Easy Max. First link in the comment section description. Quote IQ, Southeast Soft Wash. All you got to do is be an active Quote IQ subscriber and go to the first link in the comment section description. Register with your email, and you'll be entered to win this Easy Max for the giveaway. So be sure to check that out. Second link in the comment section description. Local Dom 2. Learn how to land those giant jobs. Right, AP? Come on.
Let's go. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Okay, the third one, I have 2 more. The third one is side hustling. Okay, we've talked about this in the past, right? If you treat your business like a side hustle, you will make side hustle money. You can never make full-time money with the side hustle, right? So too many people get into this, oh, I'll just do a couple jobs on the weekend. They're tinkering, right? And they're not fully committing, and that's what's really holding people back from going full-time. Anybody want to go
Hobbying. Hobbying.
There you go.
I like to call it. I think hobbying is a disgrace. I don't like one person that's hobbying. I tell you, man, I ain't never hobbied at anything in my life. When I came to Nashville to do music, I didn't have any money. I slept on a guy's floor in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I had a Honda Accord I was driving. I stuffed my entire mattress in the back seat. How I did that, I just wanted to be here, dude. I figured it out, right? But at the end of the day, I wasn't hobbying, man. Like, I would sit in front of people, and I think eventually the industry just was not for me, honestly. They wanted to control you. They want a lot of things. They want you to buy into their process. But I was committed until I got behind the closed doors and figured that out. And I think what I see is that a lot of guys, they get into this, and what you're saying is it's fun to hobby because you feel like you never lose. You see, like, if you're never completely committed, you can never lose. And I think the fear of rejection, the fear of loss, the fear of losing the money they invest, a little menial amount of money or whatever. Hell, they got more money in like a shitty bass boat and some Nitto grapplers out back than they're getting started on this business. But they're hobbying. It's a hobby mentality, and it allows them to halfway commit and then back out of it 8 months down the line and say it didn't work. And I will tell you, man, that is a recipe for failure. It's a disease. It's very prominent in Southern culture, where I'm from. Everybody kind of just wants to, well, I'll try it out. We're going to give it a go, right? We're going to give it a go. If somebody ever said that to me, I'm going to tell you, you'll lose me as a friend. If I was your friend, you're done. All right. And you don't give nothing a damn go. You go make it happen, and you quit on your terms if you decide to. But you go crush the market. You go take over the entire area. You go become #1 on Google. And you know who you become in the process of doing all that, of learning how to market your business? You know, you can open any damn thing. You could open an ice cream shop in an 8x8 area shed, and you'll sell it out. You have people lined up. Why? Because of who you became, not hobbying. You say, well, you know what? The ice cream's a little weird. It's got a little weird flavor. Well, figure it out. Stay up all night. Figure out how to make it delicious. That's what you do. You keep searching recipes on your little ice cream shop until 2 a.m. And eventually, you know what you figure out? You figure out how to make delicious freaking ice cream. Weird concept. Weird. I don't know. You just keep making stuff and you throw it out. You make it. You throw it out. You make it. But you're committed. There is no hobby. There's no, well, this is the first recipe and it kind of sucks and we're not going to tell anybody about it and we're not going to market it. And we may post once or twice on Facebook and invite the family over, but we're not going to get a GMB or a website, and we're not going to get any reviews, and we're not going to do Google ads, and we're not going to do print marketing. That's a hobbyer. If you're going to do this, I'm not saying that you have to implement it all at one time. That's a lot of what the courses teach, is how to do it on the budget to where you're doing what is most effective for the money at that time, right? Because to a new guy, he's thinking, hey, man, I got to do all this print marketing, get signs, get Google, and get a website, get Quote IQ, and get a super pump. Yes, but not all today. See, there is a process, a right way to do it, and a step that's going to move you into profitability quicker than you just dilly-dallying all about. All right. So, Justin, I call those people hobbyers. Cody, what do you think about hobbyers?
I want to say one thing, because Aaron did touch on something cool when he said if any of his friends ever say, we're just going to see how it turns out, the people that you accept in your life, they're going to rub off on you, right? So maybe mom's a hobby, or maybe she started a crochet business or something. Maybe dad's hobbied and he tried to start a little side business. Maybe your friends are hobbyers. They tried to take note of who's in your circle, who are you spending time with, and those people are rubbing off on you, and that's what's reflected in your day-to-day life. Cody, go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's not conducive to getting really where you want to go. If you're trying to go full time with any business, it's just, you'll wind up having so many irons in the fire that none of them really turn into swords. And I'll take you on a different tact here. So I don't want to do it that kind of a thing because just of a personal time suck. I would rather have like 1 or 2 things that I'm all in on than 15 things that I'm half-assing, right? Well, my wife makes bread and we sell it at the trade days and we do that. And okay, well, what do you make? And then we make, we got an Etsy store and we make, and we do like to can some tomatoes and sell them out there to bake sale. If you just take all that energy and put it into like one thing, then you could have an actual thing. It's just, you're spread too thin and you're not combat effective at anything. So it's just, it's not going to get you where you want to go. Like I don't understand it when it comes to business, I guess. Cause I have hobbies, but it's not a damn thing to do with making money. Like that could be golf. That could be going to the range. Like we'll go out there and stay for a few hours and burn up a bunch of ammo, but that's a hobby. I'm not trying to hobby around in the thing that makes money or is my livelihood. Cause I've got to really dominate right there. I got to be like kill in that space. I could take all the hobby energy and do like actual hobbies. All right. That's fine. Fishing, get into something that's, therapeutic and fun. I wouldn't know what to do with that, but example, our cat got sick 2 weeks ago. And this is my wife's, like, she loves this cat. So we took the cat to the vet in Auburn, and it was like $2,800 to get this cat seen about. And that's a lot of money. Like, there was a time not that many years ago that I couldn't have spent. It would have blown my mind that I even spent that on a cat. I didn't tell the vet this, but I had a limit on what I'd spend on the cat, and it's about a Submariner. Like it's like a sea dweller. That's crazy, ain't it? To spend, no, it's not, because I like the cat. If you don't like cats, I don't give a shit. I like them. My wife likes this cat. It's happiness. It's her little baby. Is that dumb? How poor are you? Like it's dumb to me to the tune of about 8,500. I'd start being like, God dang. But
I don't like that cat that much.
Why can I do that? It's because I haven't hobbied, right? Everybody that's I tell you, they got more money than they got sense. People that say that are typically hobbying. I got uncles that have hobbied their whole life, but they're also the quickest ones to try to like tell me, well, I tell you what you'll do, boy. Get you a single wide trailer and get you a Hyundai. Them damn things run forever. It's like, well, I don't need it to run forever. I can throw it away and buy another one. So I can just, it's the hobbying that's kept them in that box. Like, and you can't see it. So if you're going to get into business, I would just suggest save the hobby energy for actual hobbies. I'll give you an example. I'm not going to give you an example because he's in the chat and I'm not sure if he's being funny or if he's being serious, but I'm going to reserve that roast for later. How about that? I'll keep that one.
I love it. I love it. Mike, do you want to say anything about hobbies?
No, my hobby is work.
Let me just hit it real vaguely. Okay. So we got somebody in the chat here that's making a little snarky comment. I can't tell. They could just be trying to be funny. So I just pulled them up here on the YouTubes and the Facebooks and Googles, and they have a jackass website out in Texas. Website's pathetic. Like the website's had probably 8 hours of work put into it ever, but their Facebook page is a lot more active, and they're in Texas. I can tell that by their so it's really easy to just punch their logo in and look them up. Why? Because it's easier. Facebook's a much easier platform to build. And so if you're hobbying, I can tell you're hobbying because your Facebook page is decked out, but you ain't putting no work in your website.
Oof.
Because the website's hard and you probably can't do it, and you probably ain't that tech savvy, and you're also a cheap bastard. You're not going to hire it out. So all that comes together to equal, well, I just got a good Facebook page. Yeah, that's fine. You're hobbying. It's like you're never going to really you're not getting intent-based leads because those don't come from Facebook. See, that's hobby land. Now, look, maybe profitable, maybe making plenty of money, but I'm just saying no real business out there has a awesome Facebook page and a crap website. It needs to be if it's going to be anyway, it needs to be the other way around. Ideally, both of them are firing, right? So do a little self-introspection and say, hey, I just took the easy way out on some of these things here because I'm burning hobby energy. That's not going to get you all the creme de la creme of things. Like it's a ton of freaking work, man. Branding, all that stuff is a ton of work. But what you get at the end of it is you get a business that now I'm truly hands off in this business. My general manager just texted me and he said, hey, I'm stepping out to lunch. I don't give a damn. Go to lunch, Brian. He's just telling me to tell me. I don't have to be here. I could not come up here for 6 months and it would still be doing the same thing, right? So that's great. I can basically retire and pull out a extremely high salary out of this business whenever I get ready to. And that's because I did not hobby for about 5 years. I burned the candle at both ends. I affiliated, I collabed with other people, I reinvested, I stayed up. I was up here at 3 a.m. I got videos of me doing it. I'd be up here, can't sleep, go to the shop, build a rig in the driveway, right? I did the exact opposite of hobbying, so that now, hell, I can hobby as much as I want to.
Beautiful. Okay, I have one more point. I do want to bring up this comment first because I think it's kind of funny. Do you think SH prices will drop this year or rise?
Hell, I don't know.
Are they hearing us?
Let me address this.
Is this a joke?
It's got to be a joke.
It's gotta be, dude.
Okay, well, I'm going to address it simply because if you know how much, and this is going to sound horrible, but if you know exactly down to the penny how much a gallon of SH costs, you're running your business completely wrong. You need to obviously know your numbers. You need to understand your cost, your overhead. All of those things play obviously a very important role in how you're pricing, how you're quoting, how much money you're making. However, if you are the guy that is going to drive, 5 miles across town to save 2 pennies on a gallon of gas, your priorities are in the wrong space, right? It's like the guy that Cody, if you recall, he came to our website and was hitting like the little bot that answers questions, and he was like, "Hey, I want to buy some chemicals. Is that special still on or whatever it was?" And I can't even remember all the details. But this guy proceeds to tell me that the shipping from Cody is too expensive, and he was going to drive to pick him up and wanted to know if there was like some sort of fee involved with picking it up there. And I asked him where he lived, and he was like, Central Florida or somewhere, like 4 or 5 hours from Cody. And this guy was going to drive 4 or 5 hours to Southeast Softwash, pick up some chemicals, drive 4 or 5 hours back home to save, what was it? Probably $30-$40 on shipping. Yeah. And I did the math. I mean, he was going to spend $300 to get there. And then what's his time worth? That's one of the biggest things is people don't value their time. And they're so concerned with pennies when they really shouldn't be. But damn.
What it does is it allows you to have something to mentally jerk off to.
Yep.
Where you feel like you're doing something like it. We're not saying don't know how much you're paying for bleach. Like it's something you need to think about once a year for about 8 minutes and be like, okay. It's not going to move the needle is what we're saying. It's like, it'll be like a half of a job. So it's not a bad question to ask. It's a rookie question. It's fine. So just take that knowledge away and say, hey, yeah, exactly.
Well, and he just said, but 7 gallons rather than 4 is a big difference. Well,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. And that's why, I mean, and I'm not, when I say this, I'm not talking specifically about you, but you're a moron if you're going to pay $7 when you could pay 4. Like somebody is getting screwed somewhere. If there's a company out there selling bleach for $7 a gallon, it should not be. And I don't know what you guys sell it for, Cody, but we're paying under $4. I know that. But I only know that because somebody asked me and I was like, hell, I don't know. Right.
It doesn't usually fluctuate in a factor of like an exponent like that. Like it's typically what we see guys asking that question is it's a few cents. It's like, oh, it went up 80 cents. And is it going to come back down? So yeah, if you're paying 7 versus and you were paying 4, okay, well, your chem costs have doubled. But here's all you need to do. Number one, shop around, see if you can get that cheaper, because that is a significant enough number on the monthly to shop for, and they're sticking it in you. So that's a big enough number. But secondly, if you're locked and there's no other competitors that you can get bleach from cheaper, you're kind of locked to just one vendor, negotiate, try to get that back down. If that doesn't work, then you just need to factor in what you need to charge extra per job. If you do that math, you're going to realize that it's about $9. And you're like, oh, so like one upsell every 3 days covered. You see what I'm saying? So there's still a way around it. It won't even to get you back to where you're square, and it'll be a very easy chess move to make either way.
Yeah. Well, and that's how we have to operate in our business on every level. I get questions all the time. Does Quote IQ charge a fee for processing credit cards? Well, yes, of course, as does every processor that you've ever used in your entire life. When you go to Walmart, when you go to McDonald's, when you go wherever, there are fees associated. These are businesses that are handling all of the inner workings of these transactions. So yes, there is a fee. And whether you see it or not, whether they put it as a line item, like I've got guys that'll be like, can you change Quote IQ so you can put a line item for the processing fee? And I was like, I mean, you can create your own if that's what you want to do, but like just build it into the price, raise your prices by a couple points, and you'll never have to think about it, right? That's why we have to understand our business, understand our numbers. And if $4 a gallon, and yes, that's excessive, but like if $4 a gallon is gonna make or break your company, then you're running your company very poorly. And I'm not, again, picking on Zija.
Yeah, I think he's asking with the right, spirit about it.
Yes, he is.
But here's another example. We're rolling out Super Pump versus its competitor. You can't even really say it has a competitor, but the next closest thing that's similar to performance, and Mike's ran them, I've tinkered with them before, gas powered systems. Well, I did some math. You run a Super Pump on a rig versus a guy with an AR 45, whatever, 60, what doesn't matter. You're saving about $13 a day on an average runtime in fuel, because you don't have to buy fuel. So the Super Pump being electric, it runs on 24-volt battery system. And to top off your batteries every evening, you plug it up when you come home. It's about, I think it was like 38 cents. I mean, it's like nothing. It's kilowatt hour, 1.2 kilowatt hours is nothing. So that's a jump. Okay, say it's $12 a day in savings, right? Do you do that over the year? It's maybe $2,500, $2,800 in savings. I will definitely pitch that when we're talking about pumps, because it's pretty much a free pump if you don't have to go and get gas every day. But the reality is that ain't really what I would not make the buying decision on that. It's like oh, well, that's cool. And anyway, it doesn't tear up. Like that's the big sale. So the thing about the bleach, the big sale is I got to have it, right? Because I got to go make money today, and I'm super profitable. So trying to get back to another ancillary perk, a cherry on top, is we're not saying don't get the cherry. We're just saying that it'll never be the cake.
Hey, and we can wrap on this. I completely agree. But I want you guys to think of all the little things like Crow's Joe about the $7 a gallon, right? And let me explain something to you. If he's thinking about this, I want you to understand there's a lot of other people who are in your area industry who would be thinking this way.
Mhm.
And let me educate you on something. This is how you win. This is the formula. If you know, and I know, they would care about $7 a gallon for bleach, it might drive them out of the business, right? They might get out. Gas prices and bleach prices doubled and I can't close a deal. Good. Get out. Get out. What you do is you stay in. That's why I tell guys to run their Google ads through the winter, because everybody's bailing out. They don't, well, there ain't no jobs in the winter. Oh, I've landed plenty of commercial, weird industrial jobs that are indoor in giant building in the wintertime, all from Google ads, because everybody pulls out. Where the masses go, you go the opposite direction. And I'm going to tell you what we're talking about here, guys. We'll wrap on this. Is a consensus of the majority of the pressure washing industry. Those high performing guys that you want to become, that we've listed, they are the rarity. Todd Ketchell don't give a damn about what bleach costs. Mike Turman does not care. Mike Turman will pay you double out of spite and laugh. That's how Mike is. He'd laugh about it, smoking a cigar, like, and enjoy it. Okay. So if you know the masses go a certain way and they're thinking about the nickel and dime and they're thinking about the research, you go the opposite way. You pay $7 happily. Move on it. Let them get out of business. You keep going. You keep your Google ads running through the wintertime. If most people are going to get a hopped up Facebook page and no website, you get a website and a hopped up Facebook page. Wherever most people go, wherever the brokies go, you go through the other door. That's exactly how you win. You know, Mike and Justin, Innovative Quote IQ, where most people can't even fathom starting that. Where do you even go? Who would I talk to? How would I even start the process? Well, Super Pump. Hey, baby. Most people, they would just cobble together the same old thing they've always done. The Batch Buster, highest flowing valve. They would just cobble together some other industry stuff, put it together, and that's why they are where they are. That's why they don't innovate. That's why Southeast Softwash and Quote IQ are completely separating from the rest of the industry and leaving them behind. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. Wherever the masses go, you go through the other door. So don't worry about the bleach prices, bro.
Amen.
Boom. Okay, sweet. Beautiful. We'll wrap on that. All right, boys. Hey, I need a word of the day. Aaron, hit him with it. What's the
Dab, boom.
Word of the day is bleach prices.
Bleach prices. If you made this far in the video, comment down below bleach prices. Check out the first link in the comment section description. We're giving away an Easy Max soft wash system. Until next time, hustle hard. Get that money, baby.
Let's go.